Welcome back to Zekeism Wrestling. Is Seth Rollins really injured? That's the question seemingly everyone on the internet is asking. And whether there's a WWE, not cover-up as such, but like a kayfabe injury situation going on whilst they plan, I don't know, a surprise cash-in related to his Money in the Bank. I don't know. That's seemingly what we're discussing here. So I've gone to here on WrestlingNews.co, WWE News. WWE is reportedly very quiet about Seth Rollins. Anyone who's been following wrestling internet over the last day or two, you know, Seth Rollins was injured at Saturday night's main event, apparently, against his match against LA Knight, and you know. He lost the match as a result, and it was a surprising result. LA Knight was scheduled to lose that, but didn't happen. An update has emerged regarding the knee injury suffered by Seth Rollins this past weekend. A new report indicates that whilst WWE is being quiet about the situation, the injury is believed to be legitimate, and there may have been a plan in place to use a storyline to cover for a pre-existing issue. WWE is very quiet on this Rollins injury. Speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that people within WWE are being very quiet about the severity of Rollins' injury. As confirmed by Triple H during the post-Evolution press conference, Rollins was expected to undergo an MRI on Monday in Birmingham, Alabama. They were at Raw last night in Birmingham, Alabama. The belief is that a full diagnosis is expected within the next few days. Was a storyline used to cover a real injury? Meltzer also discussed a report from John Pollock, which stated that an injury angle was planned for Rollins ahead of his match on Saturday. Meltzer theorized that this planned angle was likely a cover for a legitimate injury that Rollins had, which would have been sort of, I don't want to say minor, but not as bad as him sort of, you know, needing to rebuild his knee, which is what was theorized after Saturday night's main event. He reasoned that it is unlikely, the WWE would fabricate an injury for a top star who was central to their creative plan, suggesting the injury is real and the angle was meant to incorporate it into the show. Meltzer stated, so I think, you know, by the night they would have maybe known, I'm not going to do an impression of Dave Meltzer, they would have maybe known. They're very quiet about it, but I mean the John Pollock thing, he was told on Thursday, I believe it was, but it was before Saturday that they were doing an injury angle. What I love about Dave Meltzer quotes, when they're written literally verbatim. So you know Dave Meltzer sort of pontificates and says a lot of ums, ahs, likes, and I don't know, I like, yes, no, and they write them literally word for word in the quote. Was that a cover for, you know, the go in the match and do the thing as a cover for a real injury? I think so. I don't know. They're trying to keep, I mean, believe me, they're trying to keep it quiet. Like, you can compartmentalize that a little bit. I had nobody deny to me that I had nobody deny to me there that who would you know what? What? I had nobody deny to me there that who would know what? That who would know that? You know that John Pollock's story was inaccurate, and if it was, I think there'd be many people who would have told me, and I asked. It wasn't like I'm waiting. Oh my god, he's so hard to follow. It wasn't like I'm waiting to hear from people. Nobody would tell me that story was inaccurate. So I think at that point, you go with the idea that the story is accurate. And you know what it means again. Is he really hurt? You know, very likely. I don't think that they would do this now. Because let's face it, this whole thing was built around Seth Rollins. And all of a sudden, you know, you got to pivot with no Seth Rollins. So I think that the injury is real. And they wanted, you know, or he probably wanted to do whatever he did. It's the only thing I can come up with, you know, to cover for it. Now, this video isn't a criticize Dave Meltzer video. There's loads of those online if you want to go view them anyway. Not from me, but from other people. But I think what he's succinctly provided is the fact he doesn't know. Thanks, Dave. But at the same time, you have a situation with Seth Rollins. Obviously, is Mr. Money in the Bank. He has the contract. We were expecting him to cash that in within the next month or two. I think SummerSlam at the latest would have been when that would have cashed in, because that would have made sense and sort of coincided with, I mean, I thought he would cash in to deny Jey Uso his reign. So that's gone. He's got that back to Gunther. I didn't think that would happen. Gunther Goldberg at Saturday night's main event was apparently when people thought he was going to do it as well. I think there is some there is some, as we like to say in the UK, some silly bollocks going on here with WWE. Clearly, I think this is what Dave Meltzer is trying to say, is that they want the cash-in to be a surprise, like a proper surprise. And if we know, not many people predicted Naomi's cash-in on Sunday. They didn't. I could be wrong. I didn't see any predictions whatsoever. I think they've done a masterful job. Not masterful, maybe I'll downplay that a little bit, but they've done a good job in pointing Naomi in the direction of Tiffany Stratton, and only Tiffany Stratton. And the fact we know Naomi is on SmackDown, Seth is on Raw, then you go, well, there's your Raw cash-in and there's your SmackDown cash-in. That's been an annual tradition now for years and years and years. Both shows have a Money in the Bank winner and a briefcase to waggle in the audience's face as a potential cash-in. Tiffany was last year. It is what it is. And so I think they did a good job this year by going, right, well, the SmackDown one is there. The Raw one is with Seth. Seth's going to cash in eventually on a Raw champion, and vice versa. The SmackDown will be Naomi. So Naomi cashing in on EO and Rhea on Sunday was a brilliant cash-in, by the way. One of the best ones I think they've done ever. I don't know where it places yet because there's some recency bias, but I think it's top 5, definitely. And I think they did a really good job, and it was the right moment for her to cash in. I think a lot of people wanted to see that not be an unsuccessful cash-in. I think there was some online who were sort of hoping the women would have an unsuccessful cash-in. The wrong year to do it. Naomi's exactly the right winner for it. She had to cash in successfully. And yeah, it was brilliant. Seth's, on the other hand, it was a surprising. I didn't think he would be Mr. Money in the Bank, so it's surprising he got it. With the injury, I think it's a real injury. I think anyone who watched Saturday Night's Main Event, and I watched it on replay because I'll be honest, Saturday Night's Main Event is not something I make an appointment to tune in for. I watched the first and the second one and thought, okay, these are just sort of, I don't want to say casual shows, but really nothing important happens on them. So I don't feel bad sort of waiting. I was playing PlayStation on Saturday night, I'll be honest, during it, so I caught up with it on Sunday and watched it properly. If you watch the LA Knight Seth match, I think it's a legitimate injury. I think it's a legitimate injury he did in the match. That's my take. There's some people online who are denying that and saying no, it's what Dave is saying here. It's a real injury. It's an injury he's been dealing with, and they had to go get it seen too. So they did an injury angle at Saturday Night's Main Event. I disagree. I think the fact that here's evidence. Last night on Raw, LA Knight was in that gauntlet. He was entry number 3. He lost cleanly. So don't tell me that he was planned to win via an injury angle at Saturday Night's Main Event against Seth Rollins, even though they're on opposing brands as well. So it's a cross-brand promotional match. LA Knight was being fed to Seth to have him have something to do in the meantime before his cash-in. 2, get Seth a win because he needs them, of course. And 3, it was to again have someone prominent, aka LA Knight, do the job for Seth. I think it's a legitimate injury. If you watch the footage, and I can't obviously show you the footage because I'll get dinged, but he does 2 moonsault moves. The first one, I think he lands awkwardly on the first one, and the second one he compounds it by landing on, takes the pressure on the knee that he's already tweaked on the first moonsault. So he does 1 moonsault off the ropes, lands a bit with his knee slightly at an angle, and he goes for a second one for reasons, and lands it, and he just goes down. And I think LA Knight's face, not that I'm saying I'm not going to slag him off too much, I don't think Seth or LA Knight are Oscar-winning actors to be able to pull that off. Sorry, that sounds really harsh, but I don't think the angle was that well acted to be able to. I think LA Knight looked genuinely concerned as he was leaving the ring. So maybe LA Knight wasn't in on it. That's the answer to that. But I think it was a legit injury done in that match. I think the kiboshes put on that. I think Gunther was doing a lot of padding in his match with Goldberg in the main event. The main event everyone wanted to see, by the way. And I think yeah, I think there was a lot of padding done by Gunther to sort of pad that match out to get to the end. Yeah, it was interesting. And you know, the Goldberg retirement speech was interrupted by adverts that needed to go out. It was all a bit of a mess, and I think it was all predicated on the fact that Seth Rollins did legitimately get injured in that match. I may be proved wrong tomorrow, the next day, next week, next month, and they go, hey, it was all a work. You got worked, you mark. But at the same time, I think it's legitimate. I think he did get injured in that match because I don't think LA Knight was going to win that match. I think there was an audible called by Seth, probably in accordance with, you know, Triple H backstage, to just can you stand on one leg, take a BFT from LA Knight and give him the win, and he can walk off. Because LA Knight what did he do with that win? He turned up to Raw in a gauntlet that wasn't for his belt. Let's remember, he's on SmackDown. And he took the loss. So it's I think it's a legitimate injury. I think there was plans thrown up into disrepute as a result of it. And anyway, that's my take. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Please email, like, and subscribe on the channel, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye bye.